There's nothing illegal about this. And when you support the president, you support getting him into office. I think the one thing we can all agree on is they've weaponized the legal system to prevent him from getting into office. So the defense of the same, I don't see as problematic. And I know that legally it's not. And that's really all I'm going to say on that. But if you look at the numbers, I think it's just completely disgusting. But I also invite the public to look at the numbers that the DOJ is spending attacking President Trump.
What did we say that MAGA stands for? Make attorneys get attorneys. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Look, it was only a matter of time before we learned the truth about Donald Trump's so-called MAGA lawyer, Alina Habba. Now, InTouch is exclusively reporting that Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, and her husband owe over $1 million in liens and warrants. This exclusive from Catherine Schaffstall reports that birds of a feather flock together. And it turns out that Donald Trump's lawyer, Alina Habba, and her husband, Greg Rubin, owe more than $1 million in liens and warrants, exclusively being reported by InTouch, which has got their hands on these warrants. It's being reported that Habba, who's 39 years old, currently has 2 active liens filed against her law firm in the state of Maine by the Department of Labor. She and her law firm, Sandlin's IT LLP, owe about $1,146, according to paperwork reviewed by InTouch, and another tax lien filed on October 24th, 2022, so relatively recently, for $1,047. But Alina Habba's husband, Rubin, has a staggering amount of active state tax warrants, as the article states, in New York from Albany County that list him individually as well as his LLCs. Rubin, who's 51 years old, owes 2 payments, one of $93,000 and one for $179,000, filed in August of 2016. Another one for $484,000 from November 12, 2020, and $59,000 from April 6, 2022. And several of his other LLCs were also hit with tax liens, totaling more than $770,000, which he is personally liable for, according to this article. Then InTouch quotes a lawyer by the name of Jeremy Wallace, who states that a lien is filed in a way that is attached to anything you own. Land can be real estate or personal property. And theoretically, they can come and raid your house and take your Rolexes, and it can spiral if you cannot pay 1 year. Why pay the next year, and so on. Rubin and Habba's many tax warrants will hinder their ability to buy or sell property. It also just reminds me of, too, what we talk about on the show, MAGA-splaining, all these people who want to say, this is how you do things, this is how you do things. We're like the MAGA Speaker of the House, MAGA Mike Johnson. We're going to tell you what you need to do with your money. Okay, MAGA Mike, you don't even have a bank account. You don't have a checking or savings account, and you're supposed to be making over $200,000 a year, which puts you in one of the top tax brackets in your district, but you don't have a checking or savings account, and now you want to MAGA-splain, or how the MAGA Republicans were the ones responsible for adding $8 trillion in debt, printed more money when Donald Trump was in office, and $8 trillion of debt when Trump was in office, and they want to basically say, well, here's how we need to do it. No, I mean, y'all are the ones who are the fiscal arsonists, and everything y'all do is just projection and confession. By the way, here is the operating expenditures of Donald Trump's PAC, showing Alina Habba is making a ton of money, debasing the legal profession for whatever she's doing for Donald Trump. Take a look. Her law firm, $1.5 million in the last financial report for Trump, and I'm sure that's significantly more now. I would not be shocked if that number now looks, in the aggregate, closer to $3 million, as she goes out there and just says, disturbing stuff after disturbing stuff like this. She goes out there and says, Donald Trump is the most ethical person I know. Well, Alina Habba, you're not a very ethical person, so it seems. So not exactly like your word really matters here. Play this clip.
But they would like the American public to believe in these bogus indictments, that there are some facts that say that President Trump was obstructing justice. When he has his turn in court and when we get to file our papers, you will see that every single video, every single surveillance tape that was requested was turned over. If President Trump didn't want something turned over, I assure you that is something that could have been done. But he never would act like that.
Okay,
he is the most ethical American I know.
Let's talk about the indictment, because
speaking of ethics, truth, facts, remember back in 2022, this is why these MAGAs have no shame at all. Remember when Alina Habba was out there saying, just spreading the lies without any care at all. Where Alina Habba, when the search warrant was executed at Mar-a-Lago, floated the idea that the FBI planted the classified documents. So this was an FBI plant. Remember, play this clip.
This is a joke. This is memento. And quite honestly, I'm concerned that they may have planted something. At this point, who knows? I don't trust the government. And that's a very frightening thing as an American. If I didn't want to be an American and go to another, this is third world stuff. We've heard it. This is Cuba. This is not our country.
People are saying.
And by the way, doesn't that remind you of what all the MAGA Republicans, or many of them in the House of Representatives and Senate, just did when they said the insurrection, it's a Fedsurrection. And now that MAGA Mike's released the Capitol Hill surveillance footage, it shows that this person was there with a FBI badge. No, it wasn't. That was a insurrectionist who was convicted, who called himself an idiot, named Kevin Liens, who had a vape in his hand, not a badge in his hand. But for MAGA Republicans, there is no shame. It's just a Ponzi scheme of lies, one lie to cover up the next lie, to cover up their next lie, over and over again. And everything they do is projection and confession, because especially these lawyers, they're all MAGA. Make attorneys get attorneys. And we're seeing the real Alina Habba more and more and more. And again, just the lies. Here's Alina Habba saying, all we do is win, 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 just win after win. Play this clip.
Tolerances that have been given to President Biden's attorneys.
That would be nice. But it's okay. Then the wins are just that much better when we get them, which we do, frankly, all the time. You're.
And look, at the end of the day, the good news is Donald Trump is getting the lawyer that he deserves. And Alina Habba, birds of a fraudy feather flock together. Donald Trump deserves Alina Habba. Alina Habba deserves Donald Trump. I think we know where this story ends. And here's Alina Habba saying that she's embarrassed to be a lawyer at this moment. Play this clip.
Confirm the counts. I wouldn't speak to that. I can tell you this. Every single time there is an investigation that comes to fruition against the Biden corrupt family, every single time. Right now we have Ray, who's being held in contempt because he won't share documents. Every single time there is a coordinated dance that is becoming obvious to the American people because they are smart. And what they do is they say, oh, look at this shiny ball, Jesse. Look at this shiny ball. Let's go after Trump. Whatever you hear about the Bidens, don't worry about it. Trump, Trump, Trump. It's called Trump derangement syndrome. And now it's becoming so sick. They are politicized. I'm embarrassed to be a lawyer at this moment. Honestly, I am ashamed. I am ashamed to be a lawyer. I'm ashamed that this is the state of our country. And it is so obvious that there's this dual system of justice. This is selective prosecution, selective persecution. It is absolute persecution. It is Russia third world stuff, and it should not be happening.
Well, Alina Habba, I'm embarrassed that you are a lawyer. I'm embarrassed what you've done to our profession. I'm embarrassed of what you do to the United States of America each and every day. Hat tip, good scoop there by InTouch. Hopefully other people do some more digging. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. InTouch with the exclusive $1 million in liens for Alina Habba and her husband, according to the article. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 2 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch and have a great day.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.